A landmark restaurant in San Francisco closed for more than a decade could soon reopen. That's after a judge gave the go-ahead for Julius Castle on Telegraph Hill. KPIX 5's Devin Fehely on what the owner is planning now that a legal fight appears to be over.
When the current owner bought the building back in 2012, he thought the restaurant would be up and running the following year. Little did he imagine that it would be a long and drawn-out 7-year legal battle.
Julius's Castle restaurant has been a distinctive part of San Francisco's skyline for nearly a century. But for the past dozen years, the restaurant has sat empty, collecting dust and falling into disrepair, until businessman Paul Scott stepped in 7 years ago.
I understood when I bought the building that I was going to have to go through some hoops to get the building back open again. I didn't anticipate the ordeal that it's been.
Scott spent years working with the city to get the building up to code, and years more battling a lawsuit filed by neighbors concerned about noise and traffic and parking.
For me, I'm pretty democratic about the views, so I think that it's something you have to tolerate for living in one of the most fabulous parts of San Francisco.
A judge recently tossed out the lawsuit, paving the way for Scott to start working with an interior designer and finding a restaurateur to partner with. Scott says he's been encouraged by all of the people who have fond memories of the beloved restaurant.
You talk to enough people who tell you about their first date and their first prom or some other special event they've had here, and you know you're on the right track. So it's going to take a while, but there's been a lot of support along the way.
And Scott is still hoping to win over opponents who have no appetite for a busy restaurant at the end of the block.
For this restaurant and for its history and the preservation of it, I think it might be a small inconvenience for the neighbors.
The owner says he remains optimistic that the restaurant will be up and running by the end of this year or the beginning of next. In San Francisco, Devin Fehely, KPIX 5.